Last time on Heartland Ridge Ranch, after a painful betrayal shattered her world, Emma Lawson came to Willow Creek searching for a fresh start. What she didn't expect was Caleb Walker. The quiet cowboy from Heartland Ridge slowly earned Emma's trust, showing her that healing doesn't always come from running away. Sometimes it comes from letting someone in. As two wounded hearts found comfort, trust, and the courage to love again, Emma finally stopped running. And by the end, she realized she hadn't just found love. She had found home. But now, a dangerous storm is rolling into Wyoming. And Heartland Ridge is about to face one of its toughest tests yet. The storm over Willow Pass. Chapter 1, Supply Run. At Heartland Ridge Ranch, autumn had settled in fully. The Wyoming mornings came colder now. Frost-coated fence rails before sunrise. Aspen trees burned gold across the hills. Breath rose from cattle in white clouds as the herd moved through pasture. Winter wasn't here yet, but everyone could feel it coming. And that meant one thing, preparation, always preparation. Wyatt stood in the equipment barn reviewing a clipboard, while Tyler loaded supply crates into the ranch trailer. Caleb secured straps. Mason checked tire pressure on the truck. The ranch crew moved with practiced rhythm, efficient, steady, purposeful. Charlie stepped into the barn carrying coffee, because she understood an important ranch truth. Productivity improved with caffeine, dramatically. She handed Wyatt a mug. Morning. Wyatt took it. Morning. Charlie glanced at the growing stack of supplies. Feed bags, medical kits, generators, blankets, school boxes. She raised an eyebrow. That's a lot. Wyatt nodded. Neighboring ranches are stocking up early. Charlie frowned. Storm coming? Wyatt looked toward the open barn doors. The sky was clear, blue, beautiful, yet his expression stayed thoughtful. Maybe, Charlie noticed immediately. Wyatt trusted weather more than forecasts. If he felt something, she paid attention. Inside the house, things were significantly less calm. Bo ran into the kitchen wearing 2 different boots. Charlie blinked. Again. Buddy! Bo looked down. What? She pointed. Those don't match. Bo frowned. They're both boots. Sadie nearly fell over laughing. He's got a point. Ellie sighed. They're different colors. Bo considered, then shrugged. They still cowboy. Hard to argue. Very hard. Emma sat at the kitchen island grading papers while trying not to laugh. She had become a regular presence at Heartland Ridge now. Not officially living there. Not yet. But close enough that Bo had started asking if she needed her own room. Which Charlie found hilarious. Caleb secretly did too. Though nobody heard him admit that. Ever. Emma looked up as Caleb entered. He set gloves on the counter. We're leaving in 20. Emma blinked. We. Caleb gave her a look. Yes. She narrowed her eyes. That sounded suspiciously like an order. It was information. Emma folded her arms. Interesting distinction? The corner of his mouth moved. Tiny smile. Victory. Emma had become alarmingly good at spotting those. Charlie stepped in. Emma's helping deliver school fundraiser supplies. Emma nodded. The school's annual winter fundraiser had collected books, coats, blankets, canned goods. Today, those donations were headed to a small community beyond Willow Pass. Emma had volunteered immediately. Because that was Emma, Caleb had volunteered to go too, though everyone privately suspected his reasoning, especially Charlie. Sadie leaned toward Ellie too loudly. Why does Caleb volunteer every time Emma goes somewhere? Ellie closed her eyes. Oh no. Too late, Emma froze. Caleb stopped moving. Tyler burst out laughing from the doorway. Charlie pressed her lips together. Wyatt calmly sipped coffee. Bo looked confused. What's volunteering? Sadie pointed dramatically at Caleb. Whatever he's doing. Caleb looked at Sadie, one sentence, calm, deadly. Truck now, Sadie gasped. Oppression. Tyler nearly fell against the wall laughing. An hour later, 2 trucks rolled north from Heartland Ridge Ranch. Truck 1, Wyatt driving Tyler Supply Trailer Truck 2, Caleb driving Mason, Hannah, Emma. The drive through Wyoming was breathtaking. Rolling hills, golden aspens, pine ridges, wide open sky. The kind of landscape that made Emma still pause sometimes, even now. Emma looked out the passenger window. It's still hard to believe this is real, Mason glanced over. What? This. She gestured outside. All of it. Hannah nodded. Wyoming does that. Caleb kept driving, quiet, as usual. Emma looked at him. You agree? Caleb didn't look away from the road. Yes. One word. Classic. Emma smiled. Still classic. 2 hours into the drive, the terrain began changing. Roads narrowed. Elevation climbed. The mountains rose closer. They approached Willow Pass, a rugged mountain route cutting through steep Wyoming ridges. Beautiful, but less forgiving. Tyler's voice crackled over radio from Wyatt's truck. Road's getting slick, Wyatt responded immediately. Copy. Mason frowned. Slick? Hannah looked toward the western sky, and her expression changed. That got Emma's attention. What? Hannah pointed. Dark clouds, heavy ones, rolling fast over the ridge. Emma's stomach tightened. Those had not been there earlier. Not even close. Caleb's grip tightened slightly on the wheel. Mason saw it. That mattered. Because Caleb rarely reacted. What do you think? Caleb stared ahead. Voice calm, too calm. Storm's moving fast. Hannah looked again. Faster than fast. Wind began rising. Leaves blew across the road. The temperature dropped sharply. Emma rubbed her arms. Suddenly cold, very cold. Radio crackled again. Wyatt's voice this time, short, focused. We may need to turn back. Silence filled the truck. Emma felt her pulse rise. Turn back? That sounded serious. Very serious. Then the first raindrop hit the windshield, then another, then dozens. Within seconds, rain hammered both trucks, hard, violent. Wind slammed sideways. Visibility dropped, fast, far too fast. Mason stared ahead. Whoa! Hannah braced against the dashboard. This isn't normal. Caleb slowed immediately, both hands firm on the wheel, steady, controlled. Emma's heart pounded now because this no longer felt like weather. This felt dangerous. Then thunder exploded over Willow Pass. The entire mountain shook. Bo would have called it sky cannons. Emma nearly jumped. Rain intensified. Road turned muddy. The trailer behind Wyatt's truck swayed. Tyler's voice came through radio. Urgent now. Wyatt. Static. Then nothing. Radio dead. Complete silence. Emma looked at Caleb. Mason looked at Caleb. Hannah looked at Caleb. Because suddenly, everyone understood the storm had just become much worse, and they were only halfway through Willow Pass. Caleb stared into the storm, jaw tight, eyes locked forward. Then he said 5 words, more than usual, much more, and every word carried weight. Everybody buckle in tighter. Emma's stomach dropped. Because Caleb Walker never wasted words. Which meant if he sounded concerned, they should be concerned. Very concerned. Ahead, lightning split the Wyoming sky. And high above Willow Pass, something far more dangerous than rain had begun. Chapter 2. Clouds rolling it. In rain, hammered the windshield so hard it sounded like gravel. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. The peaceful autumn drive through Wyoming had vanished. Willow Pass now felt hostile, wild, unforgiving. Caleb leaned forward slightly, eyes narrowed through the sheets of rain. Every muscle in his body sharpened, focused, present. Driving in bad conditions didn't scare him. But mountain roads and sudden storms, those demanded respect. Always. Emma tightened her seatbelt. Hands clasped tightly in her lap, trying not to panic, not succeeding particularly well. She looked ahead, could barely see Wyatt's truck now. Only faint taillights through the rain. That's not ideal. Mason glanced over. No. Emma swallowed. That sounded too calm. Mason gave a nervous half smile. That's because panic doesn't help. Emma blinked. That sounded familiar. Very Wyatt. The Ridge family really did pass wisdom around like heirlooms. Another burst of static came through the radio, then silence. Still dead. Hannah frowned. No signal? Mason checked again. Nothing. Lightning cracked across the sky. The entire pass lit white for half a second. Emma jumped. Caleb noticed. Without looking at her, he quietly said, "You're okay?" 2 words, simple, steady. Yet somehow her breathing slowed. Just a little. Up ahead, Wyatt fought the wheel as wind slammed the trailer sideways. Tyler gripped the dashboard. "That wind's getting worse." Wyatt didn't answer immediately. He scanned the road. Mud now ran in thin streams along the shoulders. Loose rocks shifted down the hillside. Not good at all. Then Tyler saw it. Movement above them, high on the ridge, his stomach dropped. Wyatt. Wyatt looked and instantly understood. Small rocks, sliding, bouncing, falling. His jaw tightened. "Rock slide!" Tyler's eyes widened. "How bad?" Wyatt's voice stayed calm, too calm, bad enough. Behind them, Caleb saw it too. The mountain, shifting, subtle, but wrong. Years in Wyoming taught you something important. The land always warned you if you knew how to listen. Caleb's voice sharpened. "Mason." Mason looked up. "Yeah?" Caleb pointed. "Watch that ridge." Mason turned, then froze. Hannah saw it next. "Oh no." Emma's pulse spiked. "What?" No one answered immediately, which was worse, much worse. Then thunder exploded again, and the mountain answered. A deafening crack tore through Willow Pass, like the earth itself splitting open. Then, chaos. Rock, mud, dirt, branches. A section of hillside gave way. Not massive, but more than enough. The slide slammed onto the road 50 yards ahead of Wyatt's truck. Tyler shouted, "Wyatt!" Wyatt hit the brakes hard. The truck skidded sideways. Trailer fishtailing, mud spraying. Everything lurched. Behind them, Caleb reacted instantly. "Hold on!" Emma grabbed the dash. Mason braced. Hannah locked both hands onto the seat. Caleb slammed the brakes. The truck slid. 10 feet, 5, 3, stopped. Barely. Just barely. Silence. Breathing. Rain. Thunder. No one moved. No one spoke. Emma finally whispered, "Are we dead?" Mason blinked, then laughed. Not because it was funny, because adrenaline had nowhere else to go. "No." Emma exhaled shakily. Good. A beat. "I prefer to keep it that way." "Fair. Very fair." Caleb was already out of the truck. Rain soaked him instantly. Mason jumped out beside him. Tyler and Wyatt moved from the front truck. Hannah followed. Emma stayed inside for 3 whole seconds, then got out too, because sitting helplessly felt worse. The scene ahead looked bad. Very bad. A wall of mud and rock blocked the road. Not enormous, but impossible for trucks. And worse, the shoulder near the edge had collapsed. Below it, a steep ravine. Emma looked down once, immediately regretted it. Nope. She stepped back. Absolutely not. Tyler looked over. Not a heights person? Emma stared at him. That's one way to say it. Wyatt crouched near the slide, studying the mud, the slope, the runoff. Caleb joined him. What do you think? Wyatt looked uphill. More water still flowed, more earth shifting. He gave the answer nobody wanted. We're stuck. Silence. Rain intensified again. Emma felt cold settle deeper. Not just physically, mentally, stuck in a storm, on a mountain pass. Wonderful. Hannah looked toward the ridge. Concern deepened. The slope isn't stable. Tyler crossed his arms. You think more comes down? Hannah answered immediately. Yes. No hesitation. That mattered. A lot. Emma looked between them. Okay. Everyone turned. She pointed at the obvious. So what's the plan? Silence. Tyler scratched his jaw. Mason frowned. Hannah looked at Wyatt. And Caleb? Caleb kept scanning the mountain. Emma noticed, always observing, always thinking. Then Caleb spoke. There's an old ranger cabin. Wyatt looked at him. North side. Caleb nodded. About a mile. Tyler exhaled. I forgot about that. Emma blinked. There's a cabin? Mason nodded. Emergency shelter. That sounded promising. Until Caleb added, if we can reach it. Emma stared. She really wished he'd stop adding endings like that. Then came the sound. Soft at first, almost hidden beneath rain. A deep groan from the hillside, earth shifting, again. Wyatt's head snapped upward. Caleb turned instantly. Hannah's face drained. No. Tyler looked up and saw it. More movement, much more. His voice sharpened. Wyatt! This wasn't a small slide. This was bigger, much bigger, and it was coming fast. Wyatt's command thundered through the storm. Everyone back to the trucks! Adrenaline exploded. Emma's heart slammed. Mason grabbed her arm. Move! They ran, mud, rain, slipping boots, chaos behind them. The mountain roared, and Willow Pass began to give way. Chapter 3, Willow Pass. The mountain came down behind them, not all at once, but enough. Far too much. Rock and mud thundered onto the road as everyone sprinted for the trucks. Emma slipped. Her boot lost traction in the mud. She cried out and instantly felt a strong hand catch her. Caleb, of course. He pulled her upright without breaking stride. Move. One word. Urgent. Emma moved. No argument, no hesitation. They reached the trucks seconds before the slide crashed across the road behind them. The ground shook. Mud sprayed, branches snapped, rock slammed against metal. Tyler yanked open the passenger door of Wyatt's truck. Everybody in! Mason shoved Emma toward Caleb's truck. Hannah climbed into the back seat. Caleb jumped behind the wheel, doors slammed, rain pounded, breathing ragged, hearts racing. Silence. For half a second, then Emma whispered, Okay. A shaky breath. I officially hate this road. Mason laughed despite himself. Adrenaline again. Nowhere else for it to go. Wyatt's truck sat 30 yards ahead, blocked in front by the original slide, blocked behind by the new one, completely trapped. Tyler keyed the dead radio out of habit. Nothing. Still nothing. He looked at Wyatt. Well, Wyatt stared through the windshield. Calm. Too calm. We're not driving out. Tyler exhaled. No kidding. In Caleb's truck, Hannah wiped rain from her face. The ridge is unstable. Mason looked back. How unstable? Hannah gave him a flat look. That depends. On what? How much more rain we get? Lightning split the sky again. Thunder answered instantly. Emma closed her eyes. Not encouraging. Not encouraging at all. Caleb started the truck forward a few feet, then stopped. Wyatt got out and walked back through the rain. Caleb met him halfway. Mason watched through the windshield. Emma leaned forward. What are they saying? Mason squinted. No idea. Tyler joined them. The three men stood in heavy rain, talking fast, pointing north, toward the trees, toward higher ground. Then Wyatt nodded. Decision made. Caleb climbed back into the truck. Water dripped from his hat and jacket. Emma searched his face. Bad sign. Very bad sign. What? Caleb shifted into park. We're leaving the trucks. Silence. Emma blinked. What? Mason stiffened. Both trucks? Yes. Hannah frowned. Supplies too? Caleb nodded. Everything. Emma stared. She looked at the truck, then at the storm, then back at Caleb. You're telling me? She pointed outside. Like, we're walking? Caleb met her eyes. Yes. Emma slowly looked toward heaven. Cool. A beat. I hate this even more. Even Hannah almost smiled. Everyone regrouped between the trucks. Rain soaked them instantly. Wyatt raised his voice over the storm. Listen up. Instant focus, even Emma straightened. There's an old ranger cabin about a mile north. He pointed uphill through dense pines. We get there, we get shelter. Tyler scanned the terrain. What about the ravine trail? Wyatt's expression hardened. Too risky. Mason understood immediately. Mud plus ravine meant death if anyone slipped. No one argued. Emma raised a hand. Everyone looked at her. She blinked. Sorry. Habit, teacher mode. Tyler actually laughed. Emma pointed uphill. So, just to clarify, she swallowed. We hike a mile through a mountain storm? Wyatt nodded once. Yes. Emma took a breath, then nodded. Okay. A pause. Not my favorite field trip, Tyler grinned. Still funny under pressure. Caleb noticed, even now, even terrified. She used humor to steady herself. Interesting. Very Emma. They began climbing. Mud sucked at boots. Rain reduced visibility. Wind cut through jackets. Branches whipped in violent gusts. The climb was brutal almost immediately. Emma struggled after only 10 minutes. Breathing hard, legs burning. Not because she was weak, because this terrain was ruthless. Mason stayed close behind her. You good? Emma puffed. No. Then, yes. Then, no again. Mason laughed. Fair. The trail narrowed along a rocky slope. Pines bent violently in the wind. Below them, the pass disappeared beneath fog and rain. Emma made one mistake. She looked down. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Her stomach dropped. Nope. She froze. Completely froze. Caleb stopped instantly. What? Emma's breathing sped up. Too fast, too shallow. The slope felt too narrow, too steep, too exposed. Her boots suddenly felt wrong. Everything felt wrong. I can't. Silence. Mason turned. Hannah stopped. Tyler looked back. Wyatt instantly understood. Panic. Emma stared at the drop. I can't do this. Her voice shook now. Badly. I can't move. Wind howled. Rain poured. Her breathing worsened. Caleb stepped directly in front of her, blocking the drop from view. Just him now. Only him. Nothing else. Emma? She shook her head. Tears mixed with rain. I can't. Caleb's voice lowered, steady, grounded. Look at me. She tried. Failed. Then tried again. His eyes locked onto hers. Warm, certain, still. Like an anchor. Emma. She focused, barely. I need you here. Breathing shaky. Fast. Caleb continued. Not on the mountain. A pause. Here. He gently touched her hand to his chest. Heartbeat. Strong, steady, real. Stay with me. Her breath hitched. Caleb kept his voice calm. Take one breath. She inhaled, shaky. Good. Another. She obeyed. Again, slower. Good. Again. Again, again. The panic began to loosen. Just enough. Then Caleb said quietly, You trust me? Silence. Emma stared at him. Rain running down both their faces. The storm disappeared around them because suddenly only one question mattered. Do you trust me? Emma's eyes filled. Then she nodded. Yes. Caleb extended his hand. Then take one step. Just one. Not the whole mountain, not the whole storm. One step. Emma swallowed, then placed her hand in his, warm, strong, safe, and stepped forward. Tyler exhaled. Hannah's shoulders relaxed. Mason felt relief flood through him. Wyatt watched silently. But something softened in his eyes. Because he saw it. Trust. Real trust. Not romantic fantasy. Earned trust. The kind built in storms. 30 minutes later, Tyler spotted something through the trees. There! Everyone looked. A cabin, small, weathered, half hidden in pine. Emma nearly cried. Again, but for better reasons. The ranger cabin, shelter, hope, safety, almost there. Then a sharp crack split the storm. Everyone froze. Not thunder, Different. Wood. Breaking. Tyler's face changed instantly. Wyatt. A massive pine tree above the trail began to fall, directly toward them, and Emma was standing right beneath it. Chapter 4. Stranded. Everything slowed, not in reality, only in the terrifying way the mind sometimes processes danger. Emma heard the crack, saw Tyler's face, saw everyone turn upward. Then she looked. The pine tree was falling, straight toward her, massive, heavy, fast, far too fast. She didn't move, couldn't move. Shock locked her in place. Emma! Caleb! The shout tore through the storm. Then he moved. No hesitation, no thought, pure instinct. He lunged, hard. His arm wrapped around Emma's waist just as the tree crashed downward. Caleb drove both of them sideways off the trail. They slammed into mud. Rolled hard, branches exploded where Emma had been standing less than a second earlier. The pine crashed across the path with a thunderous impact. Wood splintered, needles flew, the entire trail shook. Silence. Then breathing. Ragged, heavy, alive. Emma opened her eyes. Rain hit her face, mud soaked her clothes. For 2 full seconds, her brain failed to catch up. Then she realized Caleb was on top of her, shielding her. One arm braced in the mud, the other wrapped around her protectively. Her heart pounded so violently it hurt. Caleb's breathing was heavy, his jaw clenched, eyes scanning, still assessing danger, still protecting. Only after several seconds did his gaze drop to hers. Emma. His voice was rough, urgent. You hurt? She blinked. Once. Twice. Then whispered, No. A beat. I don't think so. Only then did Caleb exhale, a real exhale. Relief, pure relief. Tyler was there first. Caleb! Mason scrambled down the slope. You okay? Hannah moved fast behind him. Wyatt arrived last. Not because he moved slowly, because he had been checking everyone else while moving. Classic Wyatt, always accounting for everyone. Caleb pushed himself upright, then helped Emma sit. She stared at the fallen tree, her face drained of color. Oh my God! Mason looked at the impact point, then back at Emma. His stomach turned, because the truth was obvious. Brutally obvious. If Caleb had reacted even 1 second later? No. He shut that thought down. Immediately. Hannah knelt beside Caleb. Hold still. Caleb frowned. I'm fine. She ignored him, also classic Hannah. She grabbed his arm. Caleb's sleeve had torn, blood mixed with rain. Emma froze. No. Her voice shook. No, no. Caleb looked down, a deep scrape along his forearm. Not life-threatening, but ugly. Branches had caught him during the dive. Hannah inspected quickly. Nothing broken. Tyler exhaled. Good. Hannah looked at Caleb. You're bleeding. Caleb deadpanned. I noticed. Tyler muttered. Still talkative. Even Wyatt almost smiled. Almost. Emma stared at the blood, then at Caleb. Then the reality hit. Full force. He could have died. Because of her. Because he came back for her. Because he refused to leave her. Her breathing started shaking. Again. Different this time. Not panic. Emotion. Overwhelming emotion. Caleb noticed instantly. Of course he did. He turned toward her. Emma. Too late. Tears spilled, hot, immediate. She shoved both hands over her face. Oh my gosh. Her voice broke. Oh my gosh. Charlie would have recognized it instantly. Shock crash. Adrenaline leaving the body, emotion rushing in. Caleb moved closer. Emma. She shook her head. No. Tears kept coming. You could have been killed. Silence. Rain softened slightly around them. She lowered her hands, eyes red, raw, terrified. You came back for me. Caleb stared at her, as if there had never been another possible outcome. Yes. Emma almost laughed through tears, as if it were obvious, as if, of course, he would. And somehow, that wrecked her more. Why? The word slipped out before she could stop it. Silence. Everyone heard it. Tyler slowly looked away. Hannah straightened. Mason suddenly became very interested in a pine tree. Wyatt remained still, watching, because something important was happening. Very important. Emma's voice trembled. Why would you do that? Caleb stared at her. Rain dripped from his hat brim. Mud on his jacket, blood on his arm, and something changed in his expression. The walls. Gone. No more guarded answers. No more half-truths. Only truth now. Raw truth. He stepped closer. Close enough only she mattered. Only her. His voice dropped low, steady, certain. Because losing you... A pause. The storm felt silent. Everything stopped. Isn't something I can live with. Silence. Complete silence. Emma stopped breathing. Mason's eyes widened. Tyler froze. Even Hannah looked stunned. Because Caleb Walker... Quiet. Guarded Caleb Walker had just laid his heart bare. No armor, no retreat, nothing hidden. Emma's tears fell harder. Not from fear now. From the terrifying beauty of being loved so plainly. So honestly, she whispered, Caleb? He didn't look away. Not once. Then came the words everyone would remember. The words that changed everything. I love you. Silence. Thunder rolled far in the distance, soft now. Distant, like the storm itself was listening. Caleb's voice remained steady, no hesitation, no takebacks. I think I loved you before I admitted it. Emma broke completely, not from pain, from surrender, because every wall she had left collapsed, gone, finished, no more running, no more guarding, no more surviving, only truth. She threw her arms around him, hard, nearly knocking him backward. Caleb caught her instantly, held her, tight, secure, safe. Emma buried her face in his chest and cried. And for the first time in years, they were not grief tears. Not betrayal tears, not lonely tears. These were something else. Relief. Home. Love. Tyler quietly leaned toward Mason. Think they're together now? Mason stared. Tyler! What? Hannah smacked Tyler's arm. He winced. Okay. Still worth it, slightly. Wyatt finally spoke, calm, grounded, the voice that always brought everyone back. We need to move. Reality returned. The storm wasn't over, not even close. Wyatt looked toward the cabin, less than 100 yards now. So here's the good news. Emma pulled back slightly, still clinging to Caleb. Tyler frowned. There's good news? Wyatt nodded toward the trees. The cabin's close. Then his eyes moved to the blocked trail, expression hardening. The bad news? A beat. We're not out of danger yet. Lightning flashed again, and far above Willow Pass, the mountain groaned. Once more. Chapter 5. Through the storm. The mountain groaned again, low, deep, unnatural. Every person on that trail froze. They all understood what that sound meant now. The slope above Willow Pass was still moving. Still unstable, still dangerous. Wyatt's voice cut through the storm. Move. Now. No hesitation, no debate. Everyone moved. The ranger cabin sat less than 100 yards away now. So close Emma could see the weathered wood siding through the rain. A rusted chimney, shuttered windows, a small porch. Safety. Almost. But the last stretch was brutal. Mud had turned the trail into sludge. Wind whipped sideways. Rain stung exposed skin. Caleb kept one arm around Emma as they moved. Not controlling, not dragging, anchoring, supporting. Emma stayed close. Very close. She wasn't pretending otherwise anymore. Not after what he had said. Not after what she now knew. Behind them, Tyler helped Hannah over a fallen branch. She steadied herself. You okay? Hannah nodded. Yes. Tyler smirked. Good. She narrowed her eyes. What? Tyler glanced forward. I'd hate to die before you admitted you liked me. Hannah stared, completely stunned. Even now? In a storm? Seriously? She nearly laughed. Nearly. Tyler. What? She shook her head. Your timing is unbelievable. Tyler grinned. Thank you. That was not a compliment. He knew it. Mason stayed near Wyatt at the rear, scanning constantly, just like his father, learning, adapting, growing. Another loud crack echoed behind them. Mason spun. What was that? Wyatt looked uphill, then his expression hardened. Run! No explanation needed. Everyone ran. The hillside gave way, again, this time much bigger. Mud surged downhill, rocks bounced violently, a wave of debris thundered toward the trail. Emma heard it before she saw it. Her blood ran cold. Oh no! Caleb's arm tightened around her. Go! They sprinted, porch, 10 yards, 8, 6. Tyler lunged for the steps. Hannah right behind him. Mason shoved Emma forward. Go! She stumbled onto the porch, Caleb directly behind her. Wyatt still in the rear, still making sure everyone else got clear first. Classic Wyatt, always last, always protecting. Then disaster. Mason's boots sank into deep mud. Hard. Too hard. His leg twisted. He went down. Fast. Pain exploded through his ankle. He cried out. Ah! Emma turned instantly. Mason! The mudslide roared closer. Tyler froze. Hannah gasped. Caleb spun, but Wyatt was already moving. Of course he was. Wyatt reached Mason in second. Can you stand? Mason tried. Pain shot upward, his face drained. No! Not enough time. Not even close. The slide was nearly on them. Emma's heart stopped. Charlie's face flashed in Mason's mind. Abby, his siblings, no, not here. Wyatt dropped to one knee. No panic, only action. He grabbed Mason under the arm. On me. Mason stared. Dad! Wyatt hauled him up. Pure strength, pure adrenaline, then half carried, half dragged his grown son toward the porch. Tyler leapt down. Wyatt! Caleb moved too. Together they closed the final gap. Mud surged behind them, 15 feet, 10, 5. Caleb grabbed Mason's arm. Tyler grabbed Wyatt. All 4 men surged forward just as the mudslide slammed across the trail. The porch shook violently. Wood groaned. Everyone crashed onto the cabin floor. The entire structure rattled. Branches slammed the exterior. Rocks struck wood. The storm screamed around them. Then, stillness. Not silence. The storm still raged. But inside, they were alive. They had made it. Barely. Just barely. For several seconds, nobody moved, only breathing, heavy, shaking, alive. Then Beau's voice somehow entered Emma's mind. Are we dead? And against all logic, Emma started laughing. Hysterical laughter. Pure adrenaline release. Everyone looked at her. She laughed harder, tears and laughter together. I'm sorry, she wheezed. I just heard Beau in my head. Tyler blinked. What? Emma laughed. He'd ask if we died. That broke Tyler, then Mason, then even Hannah. The entire cabin erupted into exhausted laughter, the kind that comes after surviving something impossible. Even Wyatt smiled. Rare, real. Caleb just stared at Emma and smiled too, because somehow, even here, she brought light. The laughter faded. Reality returned. Hannah moved first. Professional mode. Mason, he looked over. Yeah? Your ankle. Oh, right, that. Pain returned instantly. Yeah, that hurts. Tyler winced. That's not reassuring. Hannah carefully inspected the ankle. Swollen, fast. She pressed gently. Mason flinched hard. Sorry. No, you're not. Correct, Tyler muttered. She likes hurting people. Hannah didn't look up. Keep talking. Tyler stopped talking. Wise decision. Emma moved toward Wyatt. Quietly. He sat near the wall, catching his breath. First time she had ever seen him look tired. Truly tired. She knelt. Wyatt. He looked up. Emma's eyes filled. You saved him. Wyatt looked toward Mason, then answered simply. Of course. Emma swallowed, because that answer contained everything Wyatt Ridge was. No drama, no hero speech, just love, duty, family. Caleb moved beside Emma, close. She leaned into him instinctively now, no hesitation, no second guessing. Tyler noticed, Mason noticed, Wyatt definitely noticed. No one commented. Yet. Then the cabin lights flickered, once, twice. Everyone looked up. Emma frowned. There's power? Tyler stared. Apparently. The light flickered again. Then, darkness. Complete darkness. Wind screamed outside, the storm intensified, and somewhere beyond the cabin walls, something heavy slammed into the exterior. Hard. Everyone froze. Emma whispered. What was that? No one answered, because no one knew, and that was worse, much worse. Chapter 6. Safe home. Darkness swallowed the cabin. Complete, sudden, disorienting. For half a second, no one moved. No one breathed. Only wind screamed outside as rain hammered the cabin walls. Then, another impact. Thud. Something heavy slammed into the exterior wall. Emma grabbed Caleb's arm instantly. Her heart jumped into her throat. What was that? Tyler's voice came from somewhere in the dark. Well, a pause. Sorry. That's concerning. Even now. Still Tyler. Wyatt's voice cut through the darkness, calm, grounded. Flashlights. Immediately. Phone lights flickered on. Then another. Then another. The cabin glowed in dim white beams. Caleb swept his light toward the wall. Nothing visible, just old timber shaking in the storm. Hannah listened carefully, focused. Then, a scratching sound. From outside, low, slow, moving along the cabin wall. Emma's blood ran cold. Nope. She shook her head. Nope. I hate that. Mason looked toward the window. What is it? Then came a sound none of them expected. A whine, soft, weak animal. Tyler frowned. Wait. Caleb moved toward the door. Wyatt stopped him. Careful. Caleb nodded, then slowly opened the cabin door. Wind blasted inside. Rain sprayed across the floor. Caleb shined the flashlight downward and froze. Emma stepped closer. What? Then she saw it and gasped. A dog. Small, young, shivering violently, mud-covered, terrified, pressed against the cabin wall for shelter. Emma's entire teacher heart activated. Oh my gosh. She dropped to her knees instantly. Hey, sweetheart. The dog flinched, too scared to move. Caleb crouched beside her. It's okay. The dog whined again, thin, exhausted. Hannah frowned. Looks like a cattle dog mix. Tyler exhaled. So our monster, he looked at the tiny dog, is approximately 20 pounds. Emma glared. He's a baby. Tyler raised both hands, and not arguing. Emma slowly extended her hand. Soft voice. No pressure. Come here. The dog trembled, then inched forward. Caleb watched her and smiled, because suddenly he recognized something. She was doing exactly what Wyatt had done with King. No force, choice, patience, trust. Very Emma. The puppy finally collapsed into Emma's lap. Too exhausted to resist anymore. She held him close inside her cardigan, instantly protective. Oh, sweetheart. Her eyes softened. He's freezing. Caleb removed his jacket without hesitation. Emma looked up. You'll freeze. Caleb draped it over both her and the dog. I'll survive. Emma smiled. Of course he would. Hours passed. The storm slowly weakened. Rain softened. Wind faded. Darkness turned quieter. Safer. Tyler eventually fell asleep sitting against the wall. Hannah pretended not to notice when his head tilted onto her shoulder. She didn't move. Not once. Mason rested with his injured ankle elevated. Wyatt sat near the window. Still awake. Still watching. Always the last to rest. Emma sat beside Caleb on the cabin floor. The puppy asleep in her lap. Warm now. Safe now. She leaned into Caleb's shoulder. Quiet, peaceful after everything. Still peaceful. Emma looked down at the dog, then smiled. You know what's funny? Caleb looked at her. What? She laughed softly. Every big emotional breakthrough I've had in Wyoming somehow involved animals. Caleb almost smiled. That tracks. Emma looked at him. Warm, candle-like phone light softened his features. Then she asked quietly, When did you know? Caleb frowned slightly. Know what? She smiled. That you loved me. Silence. Then the smallest smile touched his mouth. I suspected on the roadside. Emma stared. What? Caleb nodded. You kicked the tire. Her mouth fell open. That's your moment? Yes. Emma stared in disbelief. I hurt myself. Caleb's eyes warmed. You laughed after. Emma blinked, then remembered. She had, even frustrated, even stranded. She'd still laughed. Caleb's voice softened. You were hurting. A pause. But you still had light. Silence. Then, I love that. Emma's eyes filled again, not crying this time, just overwhelmed, because somehow this quiet cowboy kept saying things that went straight to the deepest part of her. Morning finally came. Gray dawn filtered through the cabin windows. The storm had passed. Silence replaced chaos. Caleb opened the door. Cold morning air rushed in. Clear sky. Fresh snow dusted higher ridges. Tyler stepped outside first, then stopped. Well, everyone looked. The pass below was a mess. Mud, debris, blocked roads, destroyed trail. But in the distance, movement, vehicles. Emma squinted. Is that... Wyatt smiled. Small, knowing. Yes. Rescue trucks. Heartland Ridge trucks. And one very familiar SUV. Charlie. 2 hours later, after rescue crews helped them down safely, Charlie reached them. The second she saw Mason limping, her face changed. Mason! Yeah, she moved fast. Very fast. Mother fast. The dangerous kind. Mason lifted both hands. I'm okay. Charlie hugged him anyway, hard, then checked his ankle, then checked his head, then somehow checked his soul. Mother magic. Bo sprinted out of the SUV. Daddy! He launched into Wyatt, then spotted Emma, then the puppy. His eyes widened to impossible size. A dog, Emma laughed. Yes, Bo stared. We almost lose you and you come home with a dog? Tyler burst out laughing. That's actually accurate, Sadie gasped. We're keeping him. Ellie nodded. Yes. Charlie blinked. Hold on. Too late. Family vote already happening. Bo pointed dramatically. His name is Storm. Silence. Then Wyatt looked at the puppy, then at Bo, then nodded. Storm works, Charlie stared. That was fast. Wyatt shrugged. Good name. Democracy complete. Dog acquired. No appeals. Later that evening, everyone returned to Heartland Ridge Ranch. Safe, exhausted, home. The storm had passed. The danger was over. And yet, something had changed. Several somethings. Mason had stepped up. Tyler and Hannah had grown closer. Emma and Caleb were no longer almost. They were real. Open. Certain. Together. As sunset painted Wyoming gold, Emma stood beside Caleb on the porch. Storm slept near Bo's boots. Charlie watched from inside and smiled. She knew. The ranch felt fuller somehow, warmer. Caleb looked at Emma. You still scared? Emma thought about it, then smiled. Yes. Caleb raised an eyebrow. Yes? She nodded. But not of loving you? A pause. Only of how much? Silence. Then Caleb gently pulled her close. Safe, steady, home. Emma looked out across Heartland Ridge, the pastures, the barns, the mountains, the family, the life she never planned, and understood something beautiful. Storms reveal things sunshine never can. Strength, character, love, and sometimes the people who will walk through the storm beside you. At Heartland Ridge Ranch, everyone understood something simple and true. The strongest bonds aren't formed when life is easy. They're forged when the storm comes. The end. Thank you for visiting Heartland Ridge Ranch. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Snowfall and Second Chances for more Western romance, unforgettable characters, and heartwarming stories from Heartland Ridge Ranch, where family legacy, Western romance, and second chances ride together.